I think I'll go around.
I can move that chair.
Good morning,
In the
everyone.
front, like I always do.
We're about to begin service. Ring out. Ring out. Ring out, wild bells, to the wild sky. Ring out the old and ring in the new. Ring happy bells across the snow. The year is going, let 'em go. Ring out the false, ring in the true. Words of Alfred Lord Tennyson. And so join me now as I ring the Tibetan bowl as a call to service. Listening as the sound fills the sanctuary. Let your mind just rest here for a moment and let all the goodness of the service enter.
This is break 4 of UTS Harmony Live.
Thank you, Michael. Well, good morning. Good morning and welcome members and visitors and friends both in the sanctuary and on Zoom, wherever you may be, to the Unitarian Universalists of the Chester River on this final Sunday service of the year 2025. This morning we have the gift of each other's company, and so glad for it, as we stand on the cusp of this waning 2025 and await the new. We are glad for your presence and feel gratitude for the journey that we have taken together in this past year's span. We ask courage for the path ahead and hold reverence for the mystery that holds us as a beloved community. My name is Annie Lavin, your service leader, and this morning we'll join our voices as we read and recite and sing and share thoughts and ideas as we do so well, and as this particular community does so extra well. We are giving our thanks to Michael this morning, as always, on the piano, Paul and Marilyn Chakroff, who are our greeters and coffee providers today, and John on tech. We have a couple announcements. After this service, we are having a UU informational headed by Diane Shields. If you've been coming and you would like to know more about this faith tradition, you might want to stop in. We'll be going over things about this wonderful Unitarian Universalist faith that we share. And Diane will be sharing that with you. If you've been a member, maybe you want to stop in and have some refresh ideas. So do that. That will be after this service today. January 3rd, next Saturday, is game night. And January 4th, next Sunday, do come to service and do stay, because we're going to be having a congregational meeting. And that's going to be very important, because This building is almost 20 years old, and we are needing a new roof. And so we're going to have a meeting to have a vote on the roof. It's going to be very, very expensive, and we'll have a vote on that, so do come. And just a little heads up that on January 10th, this building will be closed in the morning. It's a Saturday. The Insight Meditation Group of Chestertown, it's the biggest group, will be doing a half-day meditation. So this, they'll be using the entire building. And so it seems that life continues to be busy, but we're going to let all that go for now, because this is time that we're going to be taking a pause, an important pause, where we can settle after the hustle and the bustle of the Christmas holidays. We can reconnect with each other, taking a moment to appreciate those around us, all that we might have overlooked in the hustle of the holiday. A fresh start lies before us, with a promise of what can be. It's a beautiful time to embrace the mystery and the wonder of life. And that is the thought behind this service. It's the coming together at the end of the year with mystery and wonder. And now, let's join our voices as we light our candle. Nina will come forward and lead us in the words. They're in your order of service.
Good morning.
Good morning.
As we come together,
Let us pause to take stock of the year now concluding. Its moments of happiness and hurt, its times of accomplishments and failure, its occasions of inspiration and fear. We add these experiences to the tapestries of our lives and look gratefully toward a new horizon. Fire consumes and casts a bright light. May our chalice flame consume any regret for the past, fears for the future, and worries about the day. May it light for us a path of great joy and peace.
And now we have our hymn, first hymn, Morning Has Broken, number 38 in your hymnals. Stand as you are able. And now Jan Sprinkle is going to be reading the poem, The Day After.
Words from R. Blanchard. I think the next day is what I mostly like about Christmas, when the wrapping paper and tinsel and other gay detritus are carefully tucked away, and the happy, excited look in children's eyes is fresh in yesterday's memory, along with the kindly smiles of family and friends and strangers even, and I am aware that we have safely navigated the white water of another year with its successes and its sorrows, and our eyes now focus only on the tree with all its baubles collected over a lifetime, hanging quietly, and the space beneath it empty of the brightly colored packages, and the tree alone directing us to peaceful paths with its symbolic star. I like the day okay, but the next day is the one I prefer, offering a quiet space, a universal exhalation. The day after, when thoughts are gathered up and cast into clear light, I see the suffering world and the dim outline of small things I'm meant to do. I also hear the laughter, and the mixture of the two brings hope that each next day will find us further on.
We'll have our offering now. We'll pass the baskets for the continuation of the good work that this small community does. Each of you give in so many ways, and we reach so many people both in the community and far, far along. We are grateful for everything that you do on a continual basis as we continue to build this church and to extend our reach into the world. We pass these baskets now, for now we are the keepers of the dream. Join me now in a few moments of meditation. It's How to Give a Blessing, and it's by Reverend Kathleen Teague. She's one of my favorites, and she says, I've amended it a little bit, but that's okay. How many times are we wished a Merry Christmas this season, usually followed with the question, and how are you doing? And usually it's easy to respond with the pat answer, well, we're doing fine. And yet, maybe we're not. Nothing is perfect in life, not even at Christmas time. Maybe not especially at Christmas time, when despite the merriment, your heart may be weary with illness or loneliness or one of the many faces of loss of life. Reverend Kathleen Teague tells us about such a time in her life, just after her father had passed. After many days with around-the-clock vigils, she went to the grocery store for needed supplies, and she tells how she was numb, sleep-deprived, and saturated by the mystery of our mortality. At the checkout counter, when the clerk routinely asks, Merry Christmas, and how are you doing? She went blank. There was silence. She found herself saying finally, I'm not so good. My dad died last night. The clerk, with his hands filled with apples and chicken and bread, showed discomfort and started to stammer. The people behind me, she says, looked longingly at the checkout lines they should have chosen. Everyone froze in that moment of uncomfortable paralysis, except the young man bagging the groceries, who had Down syndrome. He stopped moving completely, and he looked straight at me and with a little slur and great emphasis said, "I bet you feel really sad about that." The simplicity of that expression of kindness and solidarity allowed for the moment to pass with grace. "Yes, I do feel very sad, thank you," I answered. I thought about that encounter for a long time. The young man bagging the groceries would be considered disabled in thought, speech, and movement, yet he was the only one able to offer what counted in that particular moment, a moment of grace. He went straight for my heart and he touched it. He knew how to give a blessing. How are we giving blessings? I invite you to join with me at year's end and enter a moment of stillness and reflection. Become comfortable. Slow your breathing. If you want, close your eyes, listen to your breath, feel your heart open to anyone's you might want to bless at this special time, this special pause between the old and the new. You might want to use different words like offering a kind thought or making a loving wish. It's all good. The main thing here is to be generous as you include those you love, those you like, or maybe include someone who doesn't fit either of the above, and maybe that's better yet. Make space for all the recipients of this blessing, all of them. Be generous. Your spouses, your exes, the kids, the grandkids, the neighbors, wait staff, FedEx person, there's plenty of room. Stretch your circle wide. Look around, are they all in there? And when you think you are through, add the person sitting to your right and the person to your left, include them as well. At a recent service, I told a story of hardy crewmen of long ago paddling the waters of the Canadian wilderness, who asked a blessing for the man rowing on his left and to his right. He never had to think of himself, knowing that at all times someone was blessing him. May this be true as we settle now into this moment of blessings. And blessed be. And now, inside your order of service, here's an insert. It's entitled The Camels Speak. It's a responsive reading, and Lynn Geisert is going to be leading us in that.
This is called The Camels Speak by Reverend Lynn Unger. I'll start in the italicized, you'll respond. Of course, they never consulted us. They were wise men, kings, star readers, and we merely transportation.
They simply loaded us with gifts and turned us towards the star. I ask you, what would a king know of choosing presents for a child? Had they ever even seen a baby born to such simple folks, naked of attention, so open to the wind?
Why would such a child care for perfumes and gold? Far better to have asked one born in the desert, like us, tested by wind and sand. We saw what he would need, the gift of perseverance, of continuing on the hard way, making do with what there is, living on what you have inside.
The gift of holding up under a burden, of lifting another on your back with grace, of kneeling to accept the weight of what you must bear. Our footsteps may have rocked him with the rhythm of the road, shown him comfort in a harsh land, the dignity of continuity forward.
But the wise men were not wise enough to ask. They simply left their trinkets and admired the rustic view. Before you knew it, we were turned again toward home, carrying men only half willing to be amazed.
Never mind, we saw the baby, felt him reach for the bright tassels of our gear. We desert amblers have our way of seeing what you chatterers must miss. That child at heart knows something about holding a star. Our gifts are given, have no doubt. His life will bear the print of who we are.
That's been waiting a long time to be read. Now we have our second hymn, Just as Long as I Have Breath. It's number 6 in the hymnal. Stand as you are able. Our reflection this morning is coming together at year's end with mystery and wonder. It's just past 10 a.m., like almost 11, on this last Sunday in December 2025, and you may already be feeling a sense of time passing an awareness of the mystery and wonder in these final days as the hours count down to the new year. It is said that the moments between major transitions hold a special wonder. When one thing ends and another begins, a baby is born, a child becomes an adult, an older person dies. One enters a room, one leaves a room, one sets out on a journey. There is mystery and wonder in the spaces between these comings and goings, beginnings and endings. And now is such a time. Now, in this pause, before the calendars are turned and the new days of a new year begin, may we listen for what is not yet spoken. May we linger a bit in this present, this now, this moment of time. For a time, you know, is like a river with many currents, and we're carried by its mystery, with no control, and that's the beauty of it all. The seasons turn without our asking. Light returns without our bidding. And life unfolds in ways we could never have predicted. And so we pause in these moments and see what brings to us now, what we might learn. What might we learn? Being on the cusp of a new year implies a letting go and accepting what fate has in store. And that can be hard. What will fill those starkly white blank calendar pages as the months ahead roll by, reflecting the content of our days? Humanist and poet David Breeden reminds us how we humans are seldom content with any mystery and wonder, how we do strive to know the answers, solve the puzzles, solve the riddles, and find out the reasons why. He believes the more we pursue the answers to questions, the more distant they become. If we want mystery to speak, he says, it seems we have to be willing to put down the pursuit and open ourselves to being caught off guard, because it will catch us, and usually off guard. He captures this so well when he writes, I dug and dug deep into the earth, looking for blue heaven, choking always on piles of dust rising, and then once at midnight, I slipped and fell into the sky. Slipping and falling into the sky. Is there a better way to describe our dance with mystery? When we take ourselves out of the pursuit, wonderful things can happen. The power of mystery and wonder. After watching world news, we find ourselves crushed by the weight of the world, and so we take a walk in the woods or down the street, and we stare into the night sky or stumble on the smile of a stranger. And often, but not always, we hear the world gently sing, it will be all right. Relax, have faith. In fact, it already is. So many writers have explored themes of mystery and wonder in their works, especially at times of new beginnings, when it seems we're thirsty for wise words, when we stop, however briefly, listening to our own words, which can be very wise as well. Remember Mary Oliver in her poem, The Journey, when she speaks to the personal journey of self-discovery and the courage to follow one's own wisdom. Remember the voices, the cacophony of wisdom of words that are coming to her with all kinds of advice, and she says, one day you finally knew what you had to do, and you began. Simple as that. It's not simple. She makes it seem so. And Rainier Maria Rilke, the poet and novelist. One of his most famous works is Letters to a Young Poet. In one of the most quoted passages, Rilke advises a young poet to be patient with the unanswered questions and to live the questions themselves, rather than seeking immediate answers. He writes, "Be patient toward all that is unsolved in your heart, and try to love the questions themselves, like locked rooms and like books that are now written in very foreign tongues. Do not seek the answers which cannot be given to you, because you would not be able to live them. And the point is to live everything. Live the questions now. Perhaps you will then gradually, without noticing it, live along some distant day into the answer, embracing life's uncertainties and finding meaning is the journey itself." I'll end with the words of UU minister Angela Herrera. She puts it this way: "You bring yourself before life's wonder, before what is ultimate and bigger than your small, lone self. You stand at the edge of mystery, and meanwhile, the armful of worries you brought to the edge of mystery have fluttered to your feet." So, friends, in this hour together, in these lovely last days, let's let mystery work its magic. Let's allow ourselves to fall in and open up. Let's slip into the sky and let it slip into us. Let's set the sleuthing down and just for a moment, simply listen and be. As we take a moment for this, I'm going to ask you to carry this question in your heart. As you've grown older, has life seemed to have more or less mystery to it? Has life seemed to have more or less mystery to it? And we'll discuss this in a moment. So we'll take a moment now to be still and listen to your own hearts beating, and then we'll have a short discussion. Okay, I'm anxious to hear your thoughts. As you've grown older, do you think now or when you were a child, is there more mystery in life for you? What are your thoughts? Oh, I knew I could count on you, Nadine.
Yeah, that doesn't sound too much. Anyway, well, as I've gotten older and I look back on the past, I can see I can see the steps that led to something really good or really bad. And Buddha calls this dependent origination, that nothing occurs without being preceded by something else. And that, of course, that thing was preceded by something else. So all of life for me is like a web But that helps me when something uncomfortable or bad happens, that I can really, if I think about it, I can see what preceded it. So dependent origination is a very important thing for me.
Is life more mysterious now? Can you explain things more now or when you were little?
When I was little, the world was, when I was little, the world was actually in some ways small and some ways very large. It was small because I knew exactly what was going to happen. Dinner was such and such, and Mom said this, and Dad said that, and they always said the same thing, go to school, and so there were lines. But beyond that, there was a huge universe that I really knew nothing at all about. Well, when I grew up, then I was expected to function in that. And as I've grown older, I realized that I really don't have any wonderful understanding of what's really here now that I'm doing, and I'll forget everything else. It's huge. The universe is huge, and I do not understand people like I thought I understood them. So I have discovered that I am really a beginner. And as you say, things build and build on each other. I'm aware of that. I just don't think I navigate the web very well.
How about mystery in your life?
Something you said sparked a memory that I just finished Louise Penny's latest book, The Black Wolf. There are mystery fans out there. And this related more to the plot of the detective knowing something bad was in progress. But she kept using the sentence, something is about to happen. Mm-hmm. And that's always true, right? Mm-hmm. We're always on that cusp of something's going to happen. Whether we initiate the action or not, it comes to us. But it struck me in your meditation reading, I think, that to be aware and to look at that with anticipation and excitement.
I think there are many things in our lives that happen to us that seem almost mysterious, that they seem like, wow, that happened at the exact right time. And where did that come from? It's a bit of a mystery. Are there any mysteries that you would like to have the answer to before you would die? What would it be? No, none?
Too many to enumerate.
How about giving me one?
The mystery of evil.
What can puzzle them?
The mystery of evil would be the one that I would like to know about. I last week came about a little essay, a book review of a young lady in the year 2003 in ancient Rome, 2003, and she was a vowed Christian. She was a Christian, and she was taken to the arena for that, because she wouldn't recant and martyr. And the bull that was supposed to gore her missed and tore her tunic, and she tried to, again, which she did, and then fixed her hair back again. And because she wasn't martyred that way, she was taken to the center of the arena where a gladiator had to kill her. And he was a novice, and he didn't do very well. So she took her hand and put the blade to her neck and showed him how to do it. Her name was Perpetua, and we know this because she wrote a diary. She wrote a diary, and we have that diary. And I have not been able to get this story out of my head. And so that's why that was the mystery that I'd like to have unraveled.
Thank you. Any other mysteries? I have about 20.
I have several, but the one I wanted to talk about is, I had a friend when we lived in the Washington DC area. I was a writer and she was an artist, and we collaborated in a number of contracts and books that we did with the US government, various agencies. She lived in an old house on Capitol Hill in DC, and one day she was taking a bath and her hairdryer fell into the tub and it was plugged in, and she was temporarily electrocuted. She was electrocuted, but somehow the cord of the hairdryer had caught on a towel rack, and somehow she pulled the towel rack out of the wall, which disconnected the plug of the hairdryer. So she was electrocuted. That was what happened when the emergency people got there. She was unconscious, and they took her to the hospital, and it turned out she had been electrocuted, but she survived. We spoke after this happened to her, and I asked her, what happened? What did she experience during that time? And she said it was very typical of near-death experiences that you've heard before. There was a tunnel, there was a light at the end of the tunnel. She walked down the tunnel and actually came out of the tunnel into the light. And there was a golden river, a boat on the river with people in her life that had preceded her in death, who were motioning to her to come and get on the boat. And she said, and all of a sudden, somebody grabbed her from behind it, yanked her through the tunnel back to where she became conscious. All of that was not that unusual. I've read of other near-death experiences that were very similar. But what happened next is what surprised me and still is a mystery. She cut off all contact with anyone she knew before this happened, including me, and changed her life completely, turned into some, she ended up working with charities. And I never got why she needed to cut off all contact with everybody that she'd known before this happened, and I still don't know. So that's the one mystery that I've had to deal with for about 40 years now, so yeah, it's tough.
Anyone want a different note? No, that's amazing. Yeah. Oh, here, Carol. Yeah.
I want to add to this one, years.
I've worked in the hospice field for a long time, and when I was new as a social worker, with lots of training but still lots to learn, I had one particular family that was very resistant to what was happening to their loved one who was in the process of deteriorating. And they didn't want to talk about living will or anything, which I had been instructed was worthwhile to help people understand. They got really angry with me for talking about that. And so I learned that one, to follow people or meet them where they are. But one of the things that I didn't understand is, and I went to my supervisor, a seasoned nurse in the hospice field, and I said, what shall I do? What can I do to help these people? And she said, be patient, something will happen. Something will happen and they will get a message. but the message has to come to them, not from you. I want to know how far the cosmos extends.
Yes, that's a good one.
That's good. Okay, anyone else?
I want to know why there are geniuses that can play music when they're 3 years old,
Yeah.
like Chopin, or I'd like to come back as one of those people.
Lots of questions. Okay, thank you. I found it. Mary Oliver once again says, "Let me keep my distance always from those people who have all the answers. Let me keep company with those who say, 'Look,' and laugh in astonishment and bow their heads." And now we're going to be finishing up with a New Year's prayer. Eileen will be coming up to read this to us.
A New Year's Prayer by Dan Higgins. I am an unspoiled page in your book of time. I am your next chance at the art of living. I am your opportunity to practice what you have learned about life during the last 12 months. All that you sought and did not find is hidden in me, waiting for you to search for it, but this time with more determination. All the good that you tried for and didn't achieve is now mine to grant. When you have fewer conflicting desires, all that you dreamed but didn't dare to do, all that you hoped but did not will, all the faith that you claimed but did not have. These slumber lightly, waiting to be awakened by the touch of strong purpose. I am your opportunity to renew your allegiance to light. Shalom, Amen, Namaste, blessed be.
Thank you, Arlene. Dan Higgins was our minister for a man of years. He was a wonderful man, and he would say this every time, every New Year's service. And so our closing words. Every ending is a doorway. Every beginning is a question. We step from one year into another carrying our stories, our sorrows, our unfinished conversations, our small triumphs, our hopes still forming. Nothing is erased, nothing wasted, nothing is beyond redemption. Whether 2026 will bring joys or challenges, or as in most years, some of both, may we remember that we travel not alone, but in a great human caravan of seekers, healers, survivors, dreamers, all crossing over together into the open mystery of time. And now we'll extinguish the chalice. The words are in your order of service. We extinguish the flame,
but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts
until we meet again. blessings to you all, and now enjoy our wonderful brunch. And for those who can, stay afterwards for Diane's presentation about this faith community. Have a wonderful time. Thank you.